eminent jurist, a senior advocate of the Supreme Court, the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan awardee, a member of the Rajya Sabha, former president of the Bar Association of India. These are few of the achievements that are under the shoes of the Fali S. Nariman, and the senior advocate of the Supreme Court, Fali S. Nariman, has passed away at the age of 95 and has left behind a legacy which is hard to follow. And in today's episode, we will be talking about few of the judgments in which senior advocate of the Supreme Court, F.S. Nariman, was involved, and he had made a direct impact into the case. Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section. I am Aisha, and in today's episode, we will be talking about the Fali S. Nariman. So the points of discussion is, first of all, we'll be looking at the news, then about Fali S. Nariman, then the 9 notable cases in which he is involved, in the end a prelims practice question. Topic is of relevance from GS paper 2, that is polity section, and then under it is judgments section. So the news talks about Fali S. Nariman, 9 notable cases of the jurist. So the eminent jurist and the senior advocate of the Supreme Court, Fali S. Nariman, has passed away at the age of 95. So if we will talk about him and will know about his legacy, then he was born in the year 1929 and began his legal career by enrolling as an advocate of the Bombay High Court in 1950. He practiced law for more than 70 years, and in this process, he also won the award of Padma Bhushan in the year 1991, and then the second highest civilian honor in India, that is the Padma Vibhushan, in the year 2007. He was also the former Rajya Sabha member, and in the year 1972, he became the Additional Solicitor General of India, and he gave up this position at the time of emergency, that is in the year 1975. He was also the president of the Bar Association of India from 1991 to 2010. So this designation he led for a very long period of time. Now let us know about the 9 notable cases in which the senior advocate of the Supreme Court, Fali S. Nariman, was involved. So first is the second judge's case, that is the Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association versus the Union of India. And Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association is also known as SCAORA. So if we will talk about the second judge's case, so in the year 1981, it was the central government who got the final say in the matters of judicial appointment and transfers by allowing President to refuse recommendation by the Chief Justice of India. So the Chief Justice of India recommendation was not binding in nature, and CJI must be consulted, means that there must be an exchange of views, and the views which are given by the CJI was not binding in nature. And then the Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association, they gave their advice and said that the advice given through consultation with the CJI must be seen as binding in nature in order to protect the independence of the judiciary. So when the SCAORA raised this point that the CJI advice should be binding in nature, and this has to be done with regard to protecting the independence of the judiciary, Fali S. Nariman was a member in this. And in the year 1993, the 9-judge bench agreed with Nariman's arguments and established the Supreme Court Collegium, and also the advice by the Chief Justice of India became binding in nature. So whatever advice or whatever recommendation was given by the Chief Justice of India, it was binding in nature. And it was Chief Justice of India, and in Collegium there were in total 3 senior most judges of the Supreme Court also. Then carrying forward from the second judge's case came the third judge's case, and in the third judge's case, the Chief Justice of India must consult other judges of the Supreme Court Collegium also before making any recommendation for judicial appointments. So it was not that only the Chief Justice of India's recommendation, sole recommendation of the CJI would be considered. No, the other senior most judges of the Supreme Court should also be consulted, and this expanded the size of the Supreme Court collegium to 5, and earlier it was 3. So earlier it was 3 and then it became 5. So CJI has to consult other senior most judges of the Supreme Court also before making the recommendation. The sole recommendation of the CJI will not be given. Then came the National Judicial Appointment Commission case, that is Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association versus Union of India. So that is popularly known as NJAC case. NJAC, that is National Judicial Appointment Commission case. So the NJAC amended the constitution to insert Article 124A, which created a 6-person commission for judicial appointments. So appointments till now was made by the collegium, but with the creation of the NJAC, it was thought that the NJAC will look into the commission. It will look into the aspect of the judicial appointment. And Nariman represented the SCAORA in the case, and he argued that NJAC would impinge upon the independence of the judiciary. And he also said that the judiciary, or the people who are sitting in the judicial structure, they are the people who can better select the able people for the role. And if the central government and the legislature were allowed to participate in the selection and appointment of the judges, so the independence of the judiciary will be compromised, and striking down the NJAC. So in the end, the NJAC, that is the National Judicial Appointment Commission, it was struck down, and reinstating the collegium system for judges appointment. So at the end, the NJAC was struck down, and then the appointment system came back to the judicial collegium. Then came the Parliament cannot curtail fundamental rights, that is IC Golaknath versus State of Punjab. So this was a big case with regard to the fundamental rights. So in this, the Parliament's power to amend the constitution under Article 368 did not include articles contained in Part 3 of the constitution, and Part 3 of the constitution is with regard to the fundamental rights. And it was said that the under Article 368, the fundamental rights, which comes under the Part 3 of the constitution, so fundamental rights cannot be curtailed. And a majority of 6 judges from the 11-judge bench agreed with the petitioner's submission in 1967, and Fali S. Nariman was representing the petitioner's submissions, pointing out that Article 13 Clause 2 states that Parliament cannot make a law which infringe fundamental rights. So fundamental rights which is given in under Part 3 of the Constitution of India, so the Parliament cannot make a law which curtails or which infringes the fundamental right of a person. Then came the Bhopal gas tragedy, that is Union Carbide Corporation versus Union of India, and this happened in the year 1989. And Bhopal gas tragedy, it was a very big event and in the history of India, and thousands of people lost their life because of the leakage of a gas, and the gas was methyl isocyanide. And in the year 1984, the Bhopal gas tragedy, where 42 tons of toxic chemicals leaked from a pesticide plant owned by the Union Carbide India Limited. So the senior advocate Nariman appeared representing the Union Carbide. So F.S. Nariman was representing the Union Carbide side, and it offered to pay a sum of $426 million as compensation to the victims of the tragedy, because thousands of people lost their life, and the effect the incident had was seen for many more years in coming. So it was not that the incident stopped, the repercussions of the incident or the effect of the incident on the people's life and also on the health of the upcoming generation was seen for a very long period of time. In the year 1989, the Union Carbide reached a settlement with the central government and agreed to pay $470 million as compensation. So this was about Bhopal gas tragedy. Then came the rights of minorities to establish and administer education institutions, that is TMA Pai Foundation versus State of Karnataka. So this was also with regard to Article 30 of the Constitution, and which talks about the right of minorities to establish and administer education institutions. So this talked about that F.S. Nariman argued in support of minority rights to establish and administer education institutions under Article 30 Clause 1 of the Constitution. So Article 30 Clause 1 of the Constitution talks about that minorities, they can establish an educational institution and they can also administer it. So that is their right. And the court talked about the linguistic and religious minorities have to be determined on a state by state basis. So it talked about two types of minorities, and that is linguistic and religious. Then court has the power to frame regulations which will apply to minority run educational institutions, and these institutions can get funds or grants from the government. Then the court clarified that these regulations cannot destroy the minority character of the institution or make the right to establish and administer a mere illusion. So it was said that the minority right was established. Then comes the governor to act only upon the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers and Chief Minister. This was Nabam Rabia and Bamang Felix versus Deputy Speaker case. So it was about the governor and when can governor act. So Supreme Court in the year 2016 navigated the political crisis in Arunachal Pradesh following the rebellion of 21 Congress MLAs in the year 2015. So the governor advanced the assembly session so that a floor test could be conducted to determine which party held the majority. So there was political crisis and governor talked about performing a floor test and see that which party has the majority, and the party which has the majority can form the government. But then the F.S. Nariman argued that the governor did not have the power to advance the assembly session by own. It can only be done upon the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, which is headed by the Chief Minister, and this is as per the Constitution. So as per the Constitution, governor on his own cannot do it. It has to be done on the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Chief Minister. And the court agreed and restored the Congress government in the state, that is Arunachal Pradesh. Then comes obtaining bail for former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha. It was Jayalalitha versus State of Tamil Nadu case. So what happened was that the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, that is Jayalalitha, had been accused of misappropriating funds during her tenure, and it was said that she had the income or the properties or the assets much more than what she is supposed to have, and it imposed a fine of rupees 100 crore on her. Then upheld by the Karnataka High Court, leading to appeal at the Supreme Court. So the Karnataka High Court also upheld the order, and then the appeal went to the Supreme Court. And Nariman appeared on behalf of Jayalalitha in 2014 and convinced the court to grant bail. So the bail was granted to her against executing the fine and suspend the sentence passed by the sessions judge in Bangalore. So Nariman successfully, former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu Jayalalitha, out of it, and the bail was also granted. Then the Kaveri water dispute, State of Karnataka versus State of Tamil Nadu. In this, F.S. Nariman represented Karnataka for over 30 years in the water sharing dispute with Tamil Nadu. So the Kaveri river water sharing dispute is between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, as both the states want a particular share of water of the river, as the river is one of the major sources of water for both the states, and specifically with regard to the irrigation purpose. In the year 2016, Supreme Court ordered Karnataka government to release 6,000 cusecs of water, but the Karnataka government did not do this and it did not follow the orders and chose to defy the court orders. So, seeing the non-compliance, F.S. Nariman refused to argue the case from the Karnataka's side. And when the final judgment was given, the Supreme Court talked about the gesture of F.S. Nariman, and in the end, seeing that reduced Karnataka's annual water release to 177.25 thousand million cubic feet from 192. So this was about the Kaveri water dispute. So these are the 9 cases. Kaveri water dispute, former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha, then Governor to act only on the advice of the Council of Ministers, rights of minorities, Bhopal gas tragedy, then fundamental rights, then the NJAC, third judge's case and the second judge's case. Now, in the end, a prelims practice question, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. This is a PYQ of the year 2020. Consider the following statements and you have to talk about the correct statement. There are 2 statements given. First, the Constitution of India defines its basic structure in terms of federalism, secularism, fundamental rights and democracy. By reading the statement, you will get confused in this. Second, the Constitution of India provides for judicial review to safeguard the citizens' liberties and preserve the ideals on which the Constitution is based. So these are the 2 statements. You should be able to answer this one. You must have read it many a times, and the codes given are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. So give me the answer in the comment section, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.